When I first started watching Major League Soccer, I really didn't understand the transfer process. And up to this day, I'm still starting to understand it a little better. Because for me, growing up watching NFL, NBA, and a little bit of MLB and college football, college basketball for a little while, I never witnessed a league where the superstar players leave during the season. I've never watched a league where the superstar players just get up and go in the middle of a playoff chase, in the middle of just the regular season. And it just seems so weird. But now, as I'm continuing to watch the MLS and I'm starting to understand it now. However, this is the reason why the MLS is going to continue to trail the NFL and the NBA for a very long time. Number one, NFL and NBA, they're not held bondage to other entities. Like MLS, they're held bondage to FIFA rules. So even though the MLS can make some independent rules, it still has to be approved by CONCACAF and it still has to be approved by FIFA. You see, the NFL and the NBA, they're not governed by a higher power. They are their own power. They are their own independent entity. So that's why I say if they wanted to, they could be a little more progressive than the MLS because of that. But because those two leagues, mainly the NFL, is held hostage by their baby boomer fan base, they can't move as fast as they can't make progressive changes as fast as they could if most of their fans were like Gen Y, Gen Z. But as time progresses, that's going to change. It will get to a point where, if it hasn't already, where the Gen Ys and the Gen Z fan base in the NFL surpasses baby boomer population. So this is why the MLS is going to trail the NFL and the NBA for a very long time. Because NFL and NBA don't have that issue of losing their stars to other leagues in the middle of a playoff chase. You don't hear guys like a Tom Brady or a Patrick Mahomes talking about they want to go play in Canada during week 8 of the regular season. You don't hear guys talking about going to play for another league during their bye weeks. You don't hear about guys trying to leave the team. You don't hear about NBA players choosing to go to key NBA players now. Not NBA free agents, but key NBA players playing for their team. You don't hear about them trying to go play in China during the preseason. In the MLS, you got guys leaving during the preseason, the middle of the season, and the end of the season. You can't maintain fans like that. That's not going to work in America. Even in the Big 5 Euros, you don't hear about players leaving their team during the middle of their European season to come play in the MLS. Now, the MLS offseason is usually the MLS offseason or the MLS playoffs during European League play. But I'm just giving an example. You don't hear about other leagues, other major leagues, where their superstar players choose to leave their league during the middle of the season. It's just dysfunctional. You can't have a solid locker room when key players are constantly leaving. This is why New England is going to miss the playoffs this year. There's no way they're going to make the playoffs when you constantly have key players leaving. And it's going to prevent you from maintaining fans. You will get the fans during the summertime because NBA and NFL is not going on MLS, but you won't maintain them. Like this time of the year, the end of July, early August, people are going to go back to NFL because most of the key players in the MLS are gone. So it's really nobody for them to see that will make them happy.